All right, Jeremy Miner, welcome to the Tuesday Live. We go live inside the Facebook group Sales Revolution. Let me get the IG phone going, and let me get the TikTok phone going as well. So we go live every single Tuesday, typically around this time. Let me see if I can flip my screen here. Mirror. So would it be mirror your video? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, the change. Hey, I learned how to do it. There you go. So we go live here every Tuesday, typically around 6:15 p.m. Eastern. I'm a little bit late today. Just got done with the training call with some of our advanced clients. And we go live with a different subject matter training. Now, right now, I'm going live here on my Instagram phone. I call it the IG phone. It's like the bat phone here. I'm also going live here over here with you guys on TikTok. We love you guys on TikTok, all of you. You guys are so awesome on TikTok here. You know what? Am I on the right channel for it? Oh, no, I am not on the right channel. So we are not going to go live here. Actually, you know what? We can. I'm going live on somebody else's TikTok, but this will be interesting. And we're also going live here on my desktop. Now we're using StreamYard on my desktop. So we're actually going live here inside the Facebook group Sales Revolution. There's about 84,000 of you souls in there. We're going live in the Facebook business page, over 153,000 of you on the Facebook business page. Going live on the YouTube channel, which we're now going to start scaling. We will be at 1 million subscribers on YouTube 16 months from now with the content creation team we just acquired, I can assure you. And we're going live here on Instagram. I love my IG people. 520 some thousand of you running around over there on Instagram. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Type in me in the comments, okay? Whether you sell B2C, B2B, B2G, door to door, I don't care. How many of you get into a sales conversation and within the first 30 seconds, the first minute, the first 2 minutes, somewhere in the first 2, 3, 4 minutes at most, you ask some questions and the prospect hammers you with, hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? Can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? Type in me if you have prospects when you get on an inbound Zoom, when you call on the phone, when you're in a meeting at a home or an office, whether you sell B2C or B2B, or even if you knock on someone's door or a company's door, and they say, after you ask some questions, within a minute, maybe less, or 2 minutes, early in the conversation, they say, hey, enough of the questions. Can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? Can you just tell me what you guys are doing and how much it's going to cost? And I'll tell you if I'm interested. Can you just tell me how much this is going to be? I just don't know if I have the money. Now, type in me if you get that. And type in me when you answer that question, you end up losing a lot of those prospects that asked it. And be honest with yourself. Be real with yourself. No egos. Type in me if you lose deals from that. Okay? Because you've been taught how to respond, and it works here and there, but a lot of your prospects, it doesn't work at all. Okay, now, let me get a few things out of the way. And then I'm going to show you on the board. I'm going to show you on the board why it's happening. Because if you don't understand why, then you don't understand what to do. And then I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to show you a generic response, a formula that you can use for any industry, because we train 158 different industries, including yours, watching me here with this Hugo Boss 7th level shirt. You guys, some of you make fun of me. You're like, oh, I'm never going to listen to a guy that has Boss on his shirt. I'm assuming you know this is a clothing brand. It's called Hugo Boss. I don't just put Boss on the shirts. It's a clothing brand. Anybody ever heard of Hugo Boss? There you go. Okay. Now, what I'm also going to do, besides showing you the format, okay, for the format for a generic version, I'm going to show you about 5 to 6 different industry-specific versions so you guys can see how the formula would work for what you sell. Does that make sense what we're doing here? Okay, now, a couple of things to get out of the way. If you are brand new and you just started following me here on the Facebook group Sales Revolution or YouTube or the Facebook business page, or maybe you start following me on here on Instagram, it seems like we get like 40,000 new followers every month. I think last month we got 80,000 new followers. Or if you're brand new here on TikTok, We're slow on TikTok. We only have like 100,000 of you on TikTok. What's going on? TikTok, you guys don't like us or something. I don't need to give you guys a Snickers bar. But if you're brand new, you're like, who is this guy? I'm Jeremy Miner. I'm the founder of 7th Level. Now, 7th Level trains, we're a sales training company, lo and behold. So we train salespeople just like you watching me in the shirt. So we train salespeople like you. We train sales professionals like you. We train sales executives like you. We train sales management like you. We train sales leadership like you, VPs, CSOs. We train business owners, consultants, coaches, entrepreneurs, and contractors even. And we train you and your teams how to use specific skilled questions and techniques that work with human behavior rather than work against it. What do I even mean when I say works with human behavior rather than works against it? Do you understand what I mean when I say that? Are you 100% sure the questions you've been taught to use are the right questions at the right time? Are you 100% sure that you understand how to use your tone to cause your prospects to let their guard down rather than staying surface level? Are you 100% sure? Because if you're not, you could be losing sales that you should be making. That our clients who are in the same industry as you, they're making those sales day in and day out very easily. Okay? Now, if you're on the live right now, I'm going to have you do a few things. If you're on the live right now, go down to the bottom. I love you. Good night, Jeremy. Well, you're being very nice over there. You must be in Europe or somewhere. So if you're on the live right now, go down to the comment section, post #live. So if you're on the live right now, go post #live. I better see hundreds. I mean, there's 300 of you just here on Instagram. So if you're on the live right now, go post #live. And if you're on the replay, go post #replay. So I better see the Facebook group, YouTube do that. I better see TikTok do that. If you're on the live, go post #live. And if you're on the replay, go post #replay. I better see hundreds of #lives if I'm going to train you how to do this so you stop losing deals that you could be making. I don't have to do this for you guys. I like you guys, but it's only 111 today here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I could just go golf. I mean, it's not too hot. It's not crazy. It gets bad at 120. Now, I also want you to do this. I want each of you to smash the heart button, and I want each of you to smash the like button. So smash the heart button, smash like button. Like I said, I better see hundreds of smashed hearts, and I better see hundreds of smashed likes. Hundreds of them if I'm going to do this. Okay. Enough about me. None of you care about me. Selfishly, you only care about who? You only care about yourself. Okay. All right. So you have a couple of options. Let me show you the options that you have. All right. Now I'm going to go over here on the board. So IG people, I love you, but I'm going to have to move you over here so you can see this. Let me see if I can throw this over here. Let me see if I can move this vibe board so you guys can see here, so you're not yelling at me that you can't see what's going on here. Let me see if I can get this all the way over here so you guys can see. You're going to be like, oh, Jeremy, I don't know what to do. What's going on? Okay, TikTok, I'll move you guys kind of over here. All right, can you guys see that on Instagram? Let me see what I can do there. You know what? They're building me this new, big, shiny new office. It's going to be ready in 3 months, where I don't have to do all of this stuff and maneuver it around. You guys can see everything. It's going to be very special for you guys. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. All right. Now, you have two options. Okay. So when the prospect stops you early in a conversation, I don't care if it's inbound, outbound, cold calling, in person, does not matter. Okay. When the prospect says, hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? You have one of 3 options to do. And I'm going to show you which option is going to cause them to let their guard down and make you a ton of deals. I'm going to show you the other 2 options, which you're probably doing, that is causing you to lose a ton of sales. All right. So your first option is this. Prospect says, hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost early in the conversation? Now, if they do that early in the conversation, what's the problem? You haven't built much of a gap there. You haven't even found out what the real situation is. They don't even know what their real problems are. Most of your prospects, when you first start talking to them, don't even know what their real problems are. Am I right? Or maybe they kind of do, but they don't really understand the depth of the problem or how bad the problem really is. Maybe especially they don't understand the consequences of what happens if they don't do anything about solving said problem. You guys with me on that? So if you don't have an opportunity to help them find that, and you just go right into the price, okay? So if you're just like, oh, well, it's going to cost this. So some of you do that, don't you? If the price says, hey, how much it's going to cost? Well, we've got some different options. It could either cost, this or this or this. And are you surprised when the price says, oh, that's out of the budget? No, we can't afford that. Get back to us in 6 months. Or no, we can't afford that. Like, we might as well end the call. So that's your first option. You can just tell them, oh, the price is this. Now, type in me if you have been guilty of that in the past. Now, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. There's hundreds of people on these different platforms, probably about 1,000 between IG, TikTok, Instagram, the Facebook group, YouTube, probably 1,200 of you on here total, maybe 1,400. We'll see what happens. Type in me if you just tell them the price. Now, how many of those where you just told them the price in the first 2 minutes, they're like, oh yeah, okay, ready. I'm good to go. Like, how do I pay? That probably hardly ever happens, right? Let's just be real. Every once in a while they'll do that, but you're talking like 1% would do that. Not even 1%. They're all gonna be like, oh, that's too much. So that's probably not an option that you want to do. So can we just erase that? Can we just like cross that off? Like, you don't want to just tell them the price and cost before you build a gap, because it's unfair to them. Do you know why? How can you tell the prospect a price point to solve their problems that they don't even know what their real problems are yet? At the beginning of the conversation, they don't even know what their real problems are in the beginning of the conversation, and you're telling them what the price is, and you don't even know what problems they have and what part of your solution is going to solve it. You're doing them a disservice. Let me repeat that. If you give them the price before building a gap from where they are to where they want to be, you are hurting the prospect. You think you're being nice because your mama told you that if they ask for something, you got to tell them because that's polite and nice. You are actually hurting the prospect. So let's cross that off. Are we all in agreement? We'll just cross that option off. Probably not going to help you that much. And for sure, it's not going to help the prospect, because if they say, oh, I don't have the money, I can't afford it, 2 minutes in, before you've helped them build a gap and found out what the real problems are and the consequences are, guess what? Prospect stays in status quo. Problems stay the same. They never get what they want. So let's not hurt the prospect. Is everybody in agreement with me on this? This is not a sales play from a sales trainer that just makes you think that to feel good. That's the hard, cold truth. Am I right? Okay. We don't want to hurt the prospect. Now, the second option you have, which I think most of you do, type in me if you do this, you try to sweep that question under the rug, because if you give them the price, you're dead. So you try to sweep it underneath the rug. You try to kind of ignore it, and then you hope and pray they let you continue asking questions. Type in me if that's you. You just kind of, you sweep it underneath the rug. You say, oh yeah, we'll go through that later on. But first I need to ask you. And then you go into more questions, and you just kind of cross your fingers, and you're like, oh my God, I hope they just go with it. Type in me if that's you, and be real with yourself. Yeah, some of you say, oh, well, we can circle back to that at the end. And then you go to the next, oh, we can circle back to on that to the end, John. But let me ask you. And you try to hide it, sweep it under the rug, ignore it, hope and pray that they let you continue. Or you do this. You say, oh, well, yeah, I don't even know if we can help you yet. I'd have to know more about X and Y and Z, and then I can show you the prices. That's another sweep it underneath the rug routine. Okay? Now, there's different ways you would do that depending on the circumstance. But to that question, if they ask you about the cost, you would never want to say, well, I'm not quite sure we could help you yet. You wouldn't say that if they just said, what's it going to cost? You could use that in other questions like, well, why should we go with you? That's a little bit different. But when they ask you the cost, You don't want to do that. So can we all agree that the second option of trying to sweep it under the rug, ignore it, hope and pray with your fingers crossed, is not really a winning strategy either? Because it works on a few of your prospects, doesn't it? But what does it do to all the other prospects? It triggers more what? More objections. And they lose trust because they feel like you're what? You're trying to hide something. Look, people buy from the salesperson or company who they trust can get them the best result, not the salesperson who they like the most. You guys got to stop with the sales myths. You're trying to get them to like you. I'm going to show you how to get them to trust you, that you can get them the best result. You love grandma, you like grandma, but you're not necessarily buying from grandma if a complete stranger talks to you that you feel can solve your problems better and get you a better result, are you? You love your local grocery store from your neighbor who owns the local hardware store, but you buy most of your tools from Amazon because you feel like they can get you a better result. But do you love Jeffrey Bezos? Well, maybe you do, but you probably don't think about it because you trust them to get you a better result. Now, if they like you, that's just a bonus. But they don't buy just because they like you. They buy because they trust that you can get them the best result. End of story. Now, there's a third option. You want me to type in me if you want me to show you the third option, then I'm going to show you examples of what to say for the third option. Type in me if you want me to show you the third option over here. Okay. Type in me if you want me to show you. I don't have to show you. You can just end the lives right now, right? I don't have to show you. It's golfing mode right here. Okay, so the third one. This is what you want to do. You want to answer it indirectly where it makes sense to the prospect. Let me repeat that. You want to answer it indirectly where it makes sense to the prospect about why you're asking questions to them in the first place. Now, type in me if you want me to show you examples of how to answer this. I'm going to show you a generic example first, so you have the formula, and then I'm going to show you about 5 or 6 completely different industries. Type in me if you want me to show you how to do this. I'm seeing a ton of me's in the Facebook group and the Facebook business page here on StreamYard on my desktop. I'm seeing a few me's here on IG. You guys better get going, because here's what I'm going to do with IG. If I don't see more me's, I'm going to go like this. Now you can only see books over there. See, yeah, you're not going to like that. You're not going to be able to see anything. I better see a lot of me's if you want to see the board. Same thing with you guys, TikTok. I just go over here and just kind of go the other way. So you won't be able to see the board. Okay, I'm just joking with you guys on TikTok. TikTok, you guys need a Snickers bar. Seem a little bit depressed, a little bit wild. IG, I love you guys on IG. You guys on IG, you're the real deal. Facebook group, YouTube, you guys, Facebook business page, you guys are the real deal. Okay, now, I'm going to show you the generic example first. And I'm going to break down why I did what I did here. Let me get here where you guys can see this the best. Okay, can you guys see that on IG? Okay. Prospect says, hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? And they say that really, really early in the conversation. The first thing you're going to do is agree with them. Oh, yeah. We'll go through all that for sure. Now, why would I want to agree with them? Because I know that I'm not going to tell them the price, because if I do right then and there before I built a gap, you're just dead. But I have to indirectly answer that question. So the first thing I want to do is agree with them so they what? Let their guard down. If I can't get them to let their guard down, how do I get them to emotionally open up and tell me what's really going on and the root cause of the problems and how it's affecting them? They can't. So watch what I do here. Oh, yeah. We'll go through all that for sure. I mean, it really all depends on blank and blank and blank. And once we understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options that we have for our clients. Would that help you more if I did that for you? Let me repeat what I just did, and I'm going to break it down what I just did. And then I'm going to show you some industry specific examples. So you're like, oh, that makes more sense. Now, let me go through this again. Oh, yeah. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pay attention to my tone when I say this. And I want you to pay attention to my facial expressions. You know what controls your tone? What part of your body controls how your tone is interpreted by your prospect? The number one part of your body that controls how your prospect interprets why you're asking every single thing you ask and everything you say is your facial expressions. The number two is your arms and hands. Okay? But the number one by far is your facial expression communicates if you have more of a curious tone compared to a confused tone, compared to a challenging or skeptical tone, compared to a concerned tone. Your facial expressions control how they interpret your tone, and it controls how your tone comes across. So even if the prospect can't see you because you're on the phone, per se, would you still want to have a facial expression if you're implying that you're confused? Like, John, help me understand. I'm not understanding what you meant by XYZ. See, if I'm still on the phone, I still want to have that confused facial expression because that affects what? That affects how my tone comes out. And your prospect interprets the meaning of every question you ask based on your tone, not the words. It's based off your tone. Okay? That's how they interpret the meaning behind why you're asking the question. So pay attention to my tone, pay attention to my facial expressions. And I'm going to quiz you on this. I'm going to show you what to do here. Okay? Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll go through all that for sure. I mean, it really depends on blank and blank. And then, once we understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options that we have for our clients. Would that help you if I did that? Now, what does it depend on in your industry? I'm going to show you some different industries, what it would depend on for them. What would it depend on for you? That's what you need to write down in those blanks. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 blanks. And then once we understand all those details, look what I'm doing here. See how I'm positioning them to open up when I ask questions after this, because it all depends on blank and blank. And once we understand all those details, well, how would you be able to understand all their details if you didn't ask them questions after this? So now you're setting yourself up for them to understand why you're asking questions after this. Are you with me? Some of you look like deer in headlights about to get ran over. This is basic stuff, what I'm showing you here. I love you, but this is really basic, yet very, very important if you want to make a lot more money than you are now in your industry. Okay? That's the generic version. Now, you want me to show you some industry-specific versions, yes or no? Okay. The first one I'm going to show you is life insurance. Now, we train tens of thousands of life insurance agents. We train 158 different industries. This is one of the largest, okay? Now, I'm going to show you what to do here. Can everybody see this? I'm going to try to make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see this here. I'm going to show you 6. Now, some of you are like, oh, show me this industry, show me this industry, show me this industry, show me this industry. There's about 180 industries you guys just throw in there. I only wrote down 5. I'll do my best to get to yours. Unless you want to stay on here for 3 days, you might want to get into our virtual training courses for clients where we teach all of this. You guys are just getting little nibbles on this. Little nibbles, like nothing. All right, so I'm going to show you this. So let's say you sell life insurance. All right, take a look at this. Okay, let's see if I can blow this up where you guys can see it enough. Okay, now for life insurance, what would it depend on? You guys should know this answer. It's pretty basic. Hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? Can you just give me a quote? Tell me how much it's going to cost. Like if you're in life insurance, a lot of prospects are going to say that. Hey, can you just give me a quote, or can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? I need to see if I can afford it. And they'll ask you that in the first 2 minutes, maybe the first minute. Now, you're going to answer it indirectly. Pay attention to my tone and my body language. Oh, yeah. We'll go through all the different options for sure. I mean, it really all depends on like your age, your, health conditions, and really how much your mortgage is and like all your other expenses. And once we understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options that we have for our clients. Would that help you if I did that? Now, it's impossible for them to say, if I say it all depends on your age, your health conditions, how much your mortgage is, and what all your other expenses are. And once we understand that, it's impossible for them to say, no, just tell me how much it's going to be. Because now they know it all depends on what? Their age, health conditions, their mortgage payment, what all their expenses are. Now, put in what it depends on in your industry. What does the price depend on with what your product or service is? Because remember, they're asking this in the first 1 to 2 minutes when you don't know any of their situation. You quite literally do not know what their problems are. They don't know what their real problems are. They don't understand the consequences. They don't understand how bad the problems really are because you haven't had time to even ask them to find out. So what I just did is I positioned myself, because they're always going to say, yeah, that would help me for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. And now when you start asking questions, they understand why you're asking them. So they open up because they know that it all depends on those things. Let me do it again for you. Oh, yeah, we'll go through all the different options for sure. I mean, it all really depends on like your age, your health conditions, how much your mortgage payment is and like all your expenses. And then, once I understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options we have for our clients. Would that help you if I did that for you? You're never going to have anybody that says, nope, it would not help me. They just won't, because it makes sense why you have to find out these details, because how would you know how much it's going to be if you don't understand this stuff? You wouldn't, right? You want me to give you another industry that's completely different? Okay, let me give you this industry. Okay, who in here is a real estate investor or calls distressed properties trying to get them to sell the home to whoever you represent for a discounted rate? This is a huge industry we train in as well. We train thousands in this space as well. I want you to see the formula and how almost identical it is to life insurance, which is a completely different industry. Pay attention to the formula here. Now, I want you to pay attention to my verbal pacing, how I pace out, how I answer it, because you're going to notice I slow down, I verbal pause, I don't talk fast, because if I talk fast, how can the prospect internalize what I'm even saying or asking? They can't. Let me go through it with you. Let me talk fast. And I want you, now, actually, I'm going to show you the right way first, then I'm going to show you how most salespeople would talk fast this way. Your verbal pacing and your verbal cues and verbal pausing really dictate if the prospect's going to open up to you or not the words or questions you ask. Now, that's part of it, but that's less than 25%. 75, well, a little bit under 75% depends on your verbal pacing, your tonality, and your body language, especially if they can see you. Are you aware of that? Scuba 705 said, this is dumb. Scuba, it's okay. We love you. Can somebody give Scuba on TikTok a Snickers bar? Scuba is having a really rough day. Somebody give Scuba a Snickers bar for me training Scuba for free on a live how to answer this question. Somebody give him a Snickers bar. Please give Scuba a snippet. So he's having a hard time over there. Okay. Hey, can you just give me an offer? So if you call distressed properties, you know what they're going to say? They're not going to say, how much is it going to cost? They're going to say, hey, can you just give me an offer and I'll tell you if I'm interested. That's what they're going to say most of the time. Okay. Especially if you don't understand tonality. Now, if you're one of our clients and you call people like this, you rarely get people asking you that. But if you don't understand the tonality and right questions to ask, You'll get most of them that will say this. Okay. So here's like, oh, yeah. I can go through all that with you for sure. I mean, it really all depends on like, the condition of your home, how many bedrooms that property has. Like I've seen it I've seen it listed, but it all depends on the square footage, really the lot size as well. And once we understand all those different details, I can give you a real offer because otherwise, I'd just be throwing out some random price that might not even be a good deal for you. Are you with me on that? Now, see, I changed it a little bit down here at the bottom. What did I just do there? Some of you guys on IG are getting mad at Scuba. I love you guys. You guys are funny. Oh, yeah. I can go through all those details with you for sure. I mean, it really all depends, Barry, on the condition, like the shape of the home, how many bedrooms you have, square footage, lot size. I mean, there's some few details we'd have to understand. And once we understand those details, I can give you a real, like a real legitimate offer. Otherwise, I'd just be throwing some random price on the wall, and it might not even be a good deal for you compared to what the home is actually worth. Would that help you if I did that for you? You're never going to have somebody that says, nope, that would not help me. Scuba says, my sales philosophy is much better. Scuba, come on out here. Come on over here and train us all, Scuba. Jump into the Facebook group. I will go live with you. You come train everybody what to do, Scuba. Perfect. I love that. Yours is better than mine. I want to learn from you, Scuba. Let's do it. Come over now. Okay. Now, that's a completely different industry. You want me to show you another industry completely different than this? Okay. All right. Let's go into the financial services industry. Type in me if you sell financial services. We train, tens of thousands in this space now. Now, a lot of times they're going to say, well, what are the fees involved? Like, I've worked with financial investors, financial advisors in the past. They'll say this within the first couple of minutes, especially if you cold call. Or a lot of times if it's an outbound, they're like, hey, can you just tell me how much the fees are going to be? Can you just tell me your management cost? Like, they're going to say that. Okay. All right. Now, hey, Hayden, home improvement. I didn't put this on the board, but that's damn easy. Hayden, we train. Home improvement's one of the top industries we train in now out of 158 different industries. Home improvement. Oh, yeah, I can go through all the details for sure. It really all depends on, Hayden, what does it depend on? Are you selling windows? Are you selling screen porches? Are you selling roofs? Are you selling cabinets? Are you selling countertops, tile? What does it depend on? It all depends on what? What does it depend on based on what you sell? You can do that, okay? I'll show you in a minute. Financial services. Oh, yeah. We'll go over all that with you for sure. I mean, it really all depends on like your age. They're going to want to know your annual income, kind of assets, and really when you're looking to retire. And once we understand all those different details, we just kind of plug it into our system, and it's going to give us kind of all the different options that we would have for you. Would that help you if I did that first? Notice my tone changed. Would that help you if I did that for you first? More of a concern tone. See what I'm doing right there? Oh, you just agree. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll go through all that. I mean, it all really depends on like your age, your annual income, when you're looking to retire, and kind of the assets you have in place for that now. And once we understand all those different details, we kind of put together a plan together, and I can go through all the different options that we would have. Would that help you if I did that? Yeah, sure. Nobody's ever going to say, nope, that would not help me, because now they understand why you're finding out and asking these questions. Now they become way more open instead of emotionally closed off. You want me to show you a couple more? Yes or no? All right. Who in here sells fitness? I'm going to show you one more B2C, and then I'm going to show you a B2B example, because I know we have a lot of B2B clients as well. And probably some of you sell B2B as well. There's a little bit nuances there that I want to show you that you'll probably need to learn. So let's say if you sell fitness and they want to lose weight, just talking about that. Hey, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost? Like, can you just tell me how much it's going to cost for the plan or what you guys do? Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll go through all that with you. I mean, it really all depends on kind of what your weight is now, your age, and really what you're trying to get down to. And once we understand all those details, like I can go through all the different options we have. Would that help you if I did that? Now look at what I did here. Now, do you see how I verbal pace that out? Now, let me give you an example if I don't verbal pace and I just talk fast. Oh, yeah. We'll go through that for sure. It really all depends on what you weigh now, your age, what you're trying to get down to. Once we understand all those details, I can go through all the different options for you. Would that help? See, when I said that, you had no time to internalize what I just said. But if I slow down and verbal pace that out, verbal pacing is really important. Verbal pacing, verbal cues when we're transitioning from transition. Oh, yeah. I'll go through all that for sure. I mean, it really all depends on kind of, what your weight is now, your age, what you're trying to get that down to. And once we understand all the different details, I can go through all the different options for sure. Oh, you need the TikTok phone. I think I'm actually on your TikTok. I think I went live on your TikTok. I don't know, but they're probably enjoying it. But you can go live on your TikTok. I'm on live on somebody's TikTok. I think it might be yours. No, that's actually mine. I'm almost done though. When do you go live?
Right now, 4 o'clock.
Okay. Hey, I apologize,
I need this stand
but
too, so.
Kayla, one of our amazing sales trainers that focuses on women, teaching us some more. She has to go live on this TikTok phone. I actually think, is that your TikTok? I think I'm on your TikTok. I think you were on there before and I went live.
That is my TikTok. You're on
Hey,
my
there
TikTok.
you go. You go live on your TikTok. I will go live here on IG. You just take the TikTok. It's good.
I need this stand too, unless you want
Oh, I have to use this one. You have to use that one. I can't get off. These guys are going to get upset at me. Can you use that? This is IG. This is Kayla. She's one of our sales trainers. She's awesome.
Are y'all going to get upset if I make it end the live? I guess so.
No. You guys are getting upset. All right. Let me give you another example. All right. Now, what does it depend on in your industry? Now, let's say you sell, I'm going to just give you a random industry. Who in here sells merchant cash advances? Like we're talking lending to businesses to help them make payroll, to help them scale the business when they can't maybe get traditional loans. Who in here sells merchant cash advances or lending to companies so they can grow, like small businesses? Okay, train a ton in this space as well. Pay attention to what I'm doing here. Hey, can you just tell me now? A lot of what they get is they don't say, well, what's it going to cost? Do you know what they get? They say this. They say, well, what's the rates? They're going to say, well, what's the rates? And I'll tell you if I'm interested, like within the first 45 seconds. You want to answer that indirectly. Pay attention to what I do. Oh, yeah. I'll go through all that with you for sure. I mean, it really all depends on, your industry, really what you're wanting to use the capital for. And, they're going to want to find out like what your revenue was last year compared to what you're forecasting for this year. And once we understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options that we have. Would that help you if I did that for you? Let me repeat it again. Oh, yeah. We'll go through all the rates for sure. I mean, it really all depends on like the industry you're in, what you're going to use the capital for, and really kind of what your revenue was the last 12 months compared to what you're forecasting for the next year. And once we understand all those different details, I can go through all the different options and rates we would have. Would that help you if I did that for you? And that's usually when we're talking to A-type personalities that are business owners. You're never going to have somebody that says, nope, that would not help me. Now they understand when you start asking questions after this, that makes sense why you're asking the actual question. Did you see what I did there? Okay. I verbal paced that out. Okay. All right. Now, a couple of announcements. We're going to go live tomorrow here only in the Facebook group. So if you're on Instagram, you'll have to join the Facebook group. On Wednesdays, I only go live in our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. I'll have somebody on the team post that here on IG if you want to be on that live on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I always interview a client from a completely different industry. Now, the rules for us to interview the client is they have to make a minimum of $35,000 a month in commissions after we train them. Do you know how many thousands of people apply to be on my Facebook Lives on Wednesday for me to interview them? And they already know they have to be making at least $35,000 a month consistently. Not 1 month they made it and the next month they're half of that. $35,000 plus every single month, and they have to prove it to us to be on that live. You can ask them any questions you have about sales and me for about 45-minute interview. Okay? We pick different industries every week because we train every industry. We don't interview the same industry every week. That wouldn't it wouldn't help you guys. Okay? So if you want to be on that live tomorrow where I break down their sales process that we've trained them, and you want to ask them any questions about selling, how you can make more sales yourself or me, you'll probably want to be on that live. So the place you go to get to that live is salesrevolution.pro. So just go to salesrevolution.pro. If you're on YouTube or the Facebook business page here on StreamYard, see the banner right below me here on StreamYard in purple, I guess. I'm colorblind. It's salesrevolution.pro. So if you're on IG, go to salesrevolution.pro. Okay, if you want to be on that live, that'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live, if you're in the Facebook group, you can get the recorded version. Okay, that's why you'll probably want to be on. Now, I'm going to ask you one last question. Type in me in the comments if you want to, and I want you to really think about what I'm about asking you. Do you have courses on tech sales? Okay, let me repeat myself. When I say we train every industry on the planet, that would mean we train every industry on the planet. Okay, we train 158 industries, including tech sales. It's one of the biggest industries we train. How many industries are there on the planet? According to Forbes, there actually are only Forbes magazine, only 158 different industries. There's subsets of each one. We are in all of those. You guys might not know, 7th Level was ranked by Selling Power magazine last year as one of the top 20 sales training companies in the entire world. You can't pay to be in that ranking. It's not like a mention on Forbes magazine or Inc. magazine where you can pay to be mentioned as somebody cool, okay? Can't pay your way onto Selling Power magazine. You have to prove it by submitting your financials that have to be signed off by your CPA under penalty. Okay, if they lie, you have to send in tax returns, and you have to send in client results where they actually call clients and ask. Okay, now how did 7th Level make the top sales training the top 20 sales training companies in the entire world, and we've only been in business 4 years? Well, it's because what we train gets crazy results for our clients in your industry. Okay, there's a reason why ExxonMobil, Google Ads, Symmetry Insurance, Power Solar, I mean, I could keep listing some of the biggest companies in the world are now trained by us. That might be good for you, just going out on a limb. Okay, so I want you to type in me in the comment section if you want to start making your first $10,000 a month in commissions with what you sell. Hey, somebody asked me, Natural Selling by Jeremy Oliver helped? No? Yeah, that's a good course for sure. So I want to make sure you understand. I've taken over 250 sales training courses in my 17-year sales career before I retired in 2018. I've read in the last 23 years more than 1,400 books on sales, persuasion, and influence. Michael's got a good course for sure. I really like the guy. But NEPQ wouldn't have much to do with Natural Selling. I think that's mainly for network marketers, but good stuff for network marketers for sure. Good guy. Now, type in me if you are like, you know what? I don't want to make 10 grand a month. I want to make 15 grand a month with what I sell. So your industry you're in right now, I want to make 15,000 a month every single month. Now type in me if you're like, you know what? I already make 10 or 15 grand a month. I want to acquire the skill sets to make 25,000 a month or 30,000. And I'm saying every month, not 1 month. And then the next month you're half of it. That doesn't count. Type in me if you want to acquire the skills, the sales ability that will be necessary for you to make 25 to 30,000 every month in commissions with what you sell right now. A lot of you want to make that. Now, type in me if you're a bigger thinker and you're like, you know what, that's good, but I want to acquire the skills to make 40,000 a month in commissions. I want to acquire the sales ability to make $50,000 a month in commissions. I want to acquire the sales ability to make $60,000 a month, or even $80,000 plus a month, 7 figures a year in commissions in your industry. And I'm not joking when I say that. I can pretty much assure you we have clients in your space that are making those numbers month in and month out. When they came to us, we're barely getting by. Now, for all of you who typed in me, what is your plan to do that? What's your plan? Are you going to double your working hours? So if you want to double your income, are you going to work twice as many hours? You already work 8 to 10 hours a day. How are you going to work 16 to 20? You're going to work 20 hours a day? That's probably not realistic, right? So if you want to make more sales, make more money, you have to do what? You have to acquire a much more advanced sales ability than you currently have right now. Right? How are you going to do that if you don't acquire that skill? You're going to keep watching me on Reels and Lives for the next 20 years, hoping and praying you learn even 2% of what we train our clients in your industry? Is that your plan? I guess you can wait 20 years, hope and pray we do that for you. Or do you want to log in tomorrow and actually go through what our clients go through and start having those skills this week? You just have to decide what level you want to play the ball game at. There's different levels to this ball game that we call sales. What level do you want to play at? Now, for each of you who typed in me, I want to make 10, I want to make 15, I want to make 20. Are you going to be like those salespeople, you know who I mean, that say they want to make all this money, and then they just don't want to acquire the skills to make it? Are you going to be one of those type of salespeople? Are you going to be one of those type of salespeople that say they want to make all this money, but then just keep pushing it down the road like unsuccessful salespeople do? What level are you going to play at? Does your family deserve you playing at the level you're at now? Does your community, the charities, the church that you want to donate to more money, do they want you to play it small, stay where you're at financially? Does your family deserve you making way more money in sales than you are now? Does your church deserve it? Does your community, your charities you want to give to, do they deserve you acquiring the skills to make double or triple what you are now? What do they deserve? What do your prospects deserve? Do they deserve you finally obtaining the ability to communicate, to prevent objections from coming to their mind? Do they deserve you being able to become so good at communication and sales that they lower their guard and open up to you emotionally, tell you what their real problems are and where they want to go, and purchase what you're offering? Do they deserve you acquiring those skills? Because if you can't sell to them because you don't know how, whose responsibility is that? That's yours, not theirs. They have problems. Your solution can solve those. So what's the missing link? Can I suggest something to you? The missing link is what you've been forced to learn how to sell. Now, that's not your fault, but it is your what? It is your problem, right? So, your next step, if you want to stop talking about it and actually acquire the skills necessary to make what you typed in, your next step is to message me directly right now. So if you're on Instagram, message me directly right now. If you're in the Facebook business page or the Facebook group Sales Revolution or YouTube, message me directly right now. Now, there'll probably be at least 500 to 600 of you or more that will message me right now. Unfortunately, I don't have 17 hands to type all of you back. I will message some of you back, but I'll have probably about 10 to 12 other surrogates of ours on our social media team that will message you back. They're going to ask you some questions. We can't help you if you stay closed off. So that's up to you if you want to open up. If you want to tell us what you feel you're saying or not asking that's causing your prospects to run the other way. Now, once they find out some of those details, you'll have a unique opportunity to book in with one of our account managers. Our account managers work with every industry on the planet at this point, including myself. So they'll want to know more about what you make now compared to what you really want to make. And once they understand what your current sales ability is, they will suggest which of our training programs you can get involved in that will make you the most sales the quickest, depending on your current sales ability. If you're making $2,000 a month right now, we are not going to let you in our advanced inner circle training program. It'll be way too advanced for you. Okay? We're going to put you in a different training program. We have like 34 different sales training programs, and we put you in different ones based on your current sales ability. So if you want to acquire those skills, message me directly right now, and we'll message you back. I got to get out of here. I have a meeting. I'm already late. Hold on. I'm already late. Message me directly right now. We will message you back different training options if you want to sell more. Somebody asked me, where did you serve your mission? Ireland. Long time ago. Okay. Love all of you. We'll see you tomorrow inside the Facebook group when I go live with one of our clients, salesrevolution.pro. Peace and love. We'll see you tomorrow. Message me directly right now. Adam, are you a millionaire? But just Google my name, Adam. You'll probably find that. Okay. Love all of you guys. See you soon.